swear on the oath, it's a crime if you lie. You can do prison time for that. Having offshore account, it's illegal in the United States. It's considering as a tax fraud and launder money, unless you disclose everything to the tax, and usually people don't. If you believe that your wife has been cheating on you, you are probably right at 80%. So we're going to take question from some of our subscribers regarding what they need, what they want to understand. Obviously, there is a lot of misunderstanding regarding what private investigator can help you every day for different kind of things, actually. It's very interesting. Hopefully, I can answer all your questions.
Yes.
So Abel, my co-host, is in charge to go over the questioning from our audience.
Yes, okay? Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. And the first question is going to be from Melissa from Tampa. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for following us. Okay. And your question is, hi, Victor. This is Melissa from Tampa. If my ex is hiding money during a divorce, can you actually trace hidden accounts or assets even if they are offshore?
Good question. Actually, we're receiving a lot of phone call regarding this kind of activity, which is asset search for divorce, as well for business, corporate investigation. But now I'm gonna answer your question regarding divorce. As private investigator, we can conduct a complete asset search. What we can do legally, we can definitely search a real estate asset, vehicle, boat, airplane, and also we can do a bank search.
That's very important that you explain what an asset is.
Of course. Bank search. What is a bank search? Private investigator, with the help of some very talented providers, legally can obtain information about bank account. Bank search is going to be to do a bank search nationwide. We can do nationwide or by state, but I always recommend to do nationwide because your husband can maybe have a bank account in New York. So what we're going to provide you is the name of the bank, the address of the bank, okay? This information, you can use it with your lawyer during litigation on your divorce. As you know, when you're getting divorced, you have to submit an affidavit, a financial affidavit, okay? This financial affidavit, actually you are swearing on the oath to tell the truth and disclose everything. Okay, it's very important. I'm going to talk about when you swear on the oath, it's a crime if you lie. Okay, you can do prison time for that. I mean,
I think you have addressed that a lot.
Yeah, we
in
addressed
different
that
episodes.
in another podcast. But since we're talking about financial discovery, so you can talk to your lawyer, and you will be able to compare all the bank. For example, he disclosed only 2 banks, and on our bank search, we find 5 banks. Okay, so this is a red flag. So your lawyer later on can expose that problem to the court and can obtain a court order to get bank account information detail of how much money is in the bank. Sometimes it happens, but lately it's getting harder. Usually in the past, we used to have balance on the bank account. But lately, it's getting difficult. And for different kind of reason, the bank start to do not disclose those kind of information anymore. But sometimes it happens. It depends on the bank, okay? So we can find that. We can also find a brokerage account. Brokerage account mean investment account. If your husband has been...
Fidelity,
Schwab's, all those... investment property linked to the stock market, etc., etc.
The question, okay. Melissa is actually yes, but Melissa is asking, can you trace or do asset search on offshore accounts?
Offshore, okay, yes, we can.
Okay,
great. We also can trace in Europe, international, okay? But this is very, very expensive to do that. there is other way to get through this, because obviously we're getting divorced. The money is in Germany. I mean, of course, they can, work with the country to try to garnish the bank account. But to search those kind of information, it's possible, but it's not guaranteed, okay? Because European or different Asia, for example, have different privacy law that is getting more difficult, I'll be honest.
Right. A lot of people, they choose to chill money in Hong Kong or the British Virgin Islands and in Cayman Islands.
Cayman Island.
Correct.
Well, let me explain something. Having an offshore account, it's illegal in the United States, okay? It's considering as a tax fraud and launder money. So...
Interesting.
Yeah, you cannot have an offshore bank account in those islands unless you disclose everything to the tax, and it's usually people don't. That's the reason.
That's the reason why they're opening outside.
They're opening a bank account over there, because they don't want to pay tax.
Right, of course.
Or it's probably or might be dirty money. Okay, so you have to understand that. If we find offshore account during a divorce and we can prove it, the person who owned those accounts are going to be in trouble. Okay?
Got it. Let's move on to the second question. Thank you, Melissa, for reaching out. We are here to help you. Second question is from Danny from Miami Beach.
Next to us. Not
Next,
too far.
right there, our neighbor. Can a private investigator actually help in a civil case like that? He's saying, I think my business partner is stealing from the company.
Okay, yes.
Can you help him to investigate that?
Of course. This is corporate investigation, employee fraud, okay? So it's very important that, of course, if there is anything, you take this person to court, it's going to start with a civil case. But if there is embezzlement and financial fraud, obviously that's going to turn on the criminal. Okay, I think by experience, I seen many cases like that, especially in the restaurant business. One partner took money without telling his partner, and he was embezzling money month to month, and he went to court civilly, and the case ended up in criminal cases because the partner, the one who was stealing the money, embezzling the money, got arrested, he got indicted, and he did some prison time because it's illegal to do that. You got to be careful. When you have partner, if you can prove they are stealing money from you, okay, illegally, embezzling money, it's a fraud. We can definitely help you for any employee fraud, partner fraud, embezzlement, if they open other company behind your back and taking your clientele, etc., etc. We do that, absolutely.
And I think, Danny, you are extremely smart by doing what you're doing because you want to make sure at the very early stage of your business partnership that things are right.
Of course.
So feel free to reach us out offline. We're here to help you, Danny, okay? The next question is from Luis from Doral, another neighbor. My cousin suspects his wife is cheating, but she is smart. She's deleting everything, and she's using Snapchat, WhatsApp.
Okay, so she's using apps to communicate with somebody.
Correct, exactly.
Okay, so obviously there is nothing that we can do about her phone or her computer, okay? Private investigators are not going and hack devices to tell you
if somebody is...
This is not what we do. This is illegal. It's against the law. It's a violation of privacy. So we're not going after any electronic devices, computers, cell phone. We don't, okay? So that's something that you may be seeing that in the movies, but we don't. Okay, that need to be clear because we receive a lot of phone calls. I had guys calling me, "Oh, can you check my wife text message?" no, we cannot. This is illegal.
Right.
Okay? So that's one thing. Now, if you believe that your wife has been cheating on you, you are probably right at 80%. Okay?
Wow.
Because you have intuition. Okay? Something is going on. It's been your wife or your husband. You live with. You've been married for 20 years, so you know the person very well. You spend a lot of time with them, so you feel things that are changing. Okay, so I recommend to hire a private investigator and explain your situation to him. Then he can prepare the case. Okay, that's what we do. We prepare the case. We get all information from you to make sure we have everything, that we don't waste time. And we came up with a strategy to go after the subject. The best way to catch a cheater is to get him in action. It's to follow them, check their whereabouts, if they are meeting another person.
But hold on. They cannot follow them because that's illegal. They have to hire somebody who has a license to do
Yes,
it.
of course, because you can be
Stalking.
you can be accused of stalking. I mean, I had people, they were, having their friends or family member following their husband, and it turned bad. I mean, you can't do that. You got to be careful.
Okay, so hold on one second. What is the consequence? This is important. What is the consequence for somebody who is caught following or putting a GPS or stalking the partner? What
Okay.
specifically? What is the consequence of that?
Okay, so there's a new law just came out, October 1st, I believe. I'm not sure exactly the date, but this is a new law regarding tracking devices. Okay, so if they can, if they caught you putting a tracking device on someone's vehicle without their authorization or authorization to do that, of course, or knowledge, you can be, now it used to be a misdemeanor, third-degree misdemeanor. Now it became a third-degree, criminal. I mean, it's a felony, third-degree felony. So you got to be careful. So which means you're married, you want to track your wife, okay, and you decide to order a GPS device from Amazon, and you put it in your husband's car. And the vehicle is under his name, okay? Even if it's your husband, he can press charge against you for stalking, and you can be in trouble. You can have a felony in your record. Now the law changed, so it's not a game. Long time ago, private investigators were allowed to do that. Long time ago. Now they changed the law in 2015. Private investigators were not allowed to use a tracking device on their cases. Even the police cannot do it without a warrant. Just for your information, you better hire a private investigator following your husband and have us to take photos and videos.
Can you tell Janelle what does the background check that we do here in the agency covers besides just criminal?
Okay, so we cover lien, judgment, eviction, sexual, how you say?
Predator.
Predator, yeah, sexual predator.
You're thinking in French.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just had like a French conversation not too long ago. So, sexual predator, you can check judgment if the person gets sued many, many times. You can check liens. You don't want to get in business with someone who's been having a tax lien, millions of dollars. I mean, you can, be in trouble as well if you link yourself to this kind of guys. He check asset, okay, driving. Okay, not only criminal, driving. I mean, I had clients, they asked me to do a background check because they want to hire a new driver, truck driver. So what's the most important for a truck driver is to see his driving record. Okay, so you can see also driving record. Okay, it's very important.
Correct.
So you can see that. Also, we always do, we call that watchdog list. A lot of time, if you just got arrested a week, 2 weeks ago, it's not showing on those database, okay, because it's just happened. We check a live alert criminal arrest, okay? So
Correct.
you know if that person has been arrested or, indicted, et cetera, right away, okay?
Awesome.
It's live.